Hello, Asta here and welcome back to my channel. Today is all about how to lift your face with makeup, how to use the power of makeup to change your face features visibly so you wouldn't need to use any fillers or needles. So I'm going to share little tips and tricks that might help you in this department. And if you want to see how to do it and what tips I have in today's video, just keep on watching. To better show you the difference between the lifting makeup and your normal makeup, I'm going to do one side with the tips and tricks for lifting makeup, and on the other side I'm just going to do a normal makeup that we are used to doing it. I'm used to doing it, so you would be able to see the real difference. I know I look like a bare sheet of paper because I have nothing on, I have no color on my face, it's only the foundation, concealer underneath my eyes, and I also have a little bit concealer on my eyelids. In other words, I have a blank canvas to start with, and let's go. So first I'm going to start with contouring, and I'm going to use a cream product to contour first, and I'm also going to show you, if you're using powder products to contour, the difference and the placements. So I have this Milk Makeup bronzer here, and now I'm going to take a little bit of that on my brush. I'm going to do this side as I would normally do my makeup, and I'm going to do the lifted side on this side. Most of you know that when you're contouring you need to find the bone, and you just have to contour just underneath that bone. This is where you should apply your bronzer. So I'm going to do just that. I'm just placing my bronzer underneath my bone to create that shadow. And this is how I used to do my makeup, and I still do sometimes. I just want to show you a difference and possibilities, how different techniques of applying makeup can change your face features as well. So there it is. So nothing new here. This is how most of us bronze. Now on the other side, and this is the first step of lifting your face, rather than applying your bronzer underneath your cheekbone, try to apply it higher up on your cheekbone. And by doing this, we want to create a vertical line, so that line is going up and kind of lifting the face up. So I'm just applying the same bronzer, just on a different place. So instead of applying it underneath the cheekbone, I'm applying on top of the cheekbone. So I don't know if you can see it already, but this bronzer sits much higher than that, and kind of gives a little bit of lifting effect already. Another thing is, with the same bronzer, we normally would use this bronzer around our hairline just to bronze up and just maybe sometimes create that 3 shape, which is another technique used to bronze up your face. It's totally fine, it works great, it gives the sun-kissed effect. But if you want that lifting effect, you want to apply your bronzer just above the highest point of your brow and just work it into the hairline. Again, we're creating a line up, or vertical lines. Next stop is blusher, and this is a big one, and this is a game changer. Again, I'm going to show you both ways, using a cream blusher and also a powder blusher if you're using powders. So I'm gonna start with creams, and I'm just using this Stila Gerbera cream blusher. Again, I'm going to use my brush to apply it. So most common rule for applying blusher is smile into the mirror and apply a blusher on the top of your cheekbone. What I'm going to do now as well, literally in the center here, and just kind of dab that in. Like so. So you have your contour underneath your cheekbone, and you have your blusher on the highest point of your cheek. On this side where I want my lift to happen, as I mentioned before, we want to create vertical lines going up. So instead of applying my blusher on my cheek, I'm going to do it higher up and again apply it on my cheekbone, but a little bit higher than bronzer. Again, my aim is to create lines going up, and these 2 lines, the bronzer and the blusher, kind of merge together, so they blend in together and they create this nice lifted effect to the face. So as you can see, I haven't applied any product on my cheek, so I have created another vertical line going up, which lifts and drags my face up rather than just keeping it down. So I don't know if you can see it already on the camera, but this is the difference so far. Third step is highlighter. I'm using a liquid highlighter. This is Hollywood Beauty Light one from Charlotte Tilbury. So most of us do know that it has to sit on the highest point of your cheekbone, and this is the placement for highlighter. And I still use this technique as well. So there's nothing wrong with the technique I'm using on this side of the face. It's just to show you the difference between the 2 different application methods. This is my highlighter on the highest point of my cheek. Now this side again, a third vertical line going up, and I'm using my finger actually to apply that. And this time I'm applying it literally in a line going up on my cheekbone again. So all the three lines are kind of like melting one into another, so bronzer into blusher into highlighter. This technique is especially good for more mature ladies who want that more lifted effect, because with age our skin tend to sag down and go down, and even our cheekbones, if you're applying your blusher on the cheekbone and you're smiling, it's fine, but then when you release your cheek, then it kind of drops down and kind of makes your face look a bit droopy looking. So this technique is really good, or if someone wants that lifted, younger looking face, which who doesn't? Another great place to highlight is just highest point of your brow bone. Attract the light there and keep your arch of the brow looking lifted as well. So now I'm going to repeat all three steps, but this time using powder products. So first I'm going in with a powder bronzer, and this one is SLA Cosmetics and it's the color Precious Silk. So I'm taking a little bit of that bronzer and applying that just below my cheekbone where I place my cream bronzer. Also applying a little bit on sides of my forehead as if you would do figure 3. Now on this side I'm using bronzer, but this time I'm applying it on my cheekbone and also a little bit on the top here of the brow bone going into my temples. And then I'm taking my powder blusher. This is from Mary Kay. I think it's been discontinued, but it's absolutely beautiful color. It's called Kind Heart. Beautiful, kind of like a peachy pinky blusher. So with the pink blusher, I'm just using that on the apple of my cheeks on this side. And on the other side, I'm using the same blusher, but this time applying that on the cheekbone going up. And lastly, going in with the highlighter. This is the MAC Hot Damn highlighter. It's a limited edition one as well. Applying that on the highest point of my cheekbone here, and then the same one going all the way into my temple, creating that vertical line and above my brow bone. So here is the face. I don't know if you can see in camera, definitely can see it in the mirror. This side is more lifted and going up, which the side is not as lifted. As I said, both sides and both techniques are just fine. If you prefer to use this technique or whatever you used to, by all means do continue doing it. The purpose of this video is just to show you that you can actually lift your face when you need it or if you want it. Let's move on and do our brows. So for the brows, I love to comb them first, both sides. So I brush my hair upwards on the side where I want to lift it a little bit and just keeping the same direction. A natural growth of my brow here. So with the brows on this side here, what most of us do, we just follow the natural line of our brows, underlining it, just following the true shape of our brows. So nothing special here. I'm just filling my brow in the areas that I feel I need a little bit of fuller looking brow. So that's it there. I have my brow filled as I would normally do, just followed my natural brow shape. And then I'm going to set my brow here in place, just literally brush them into place, and again following my natural hair growth direction. And then on the other side I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So again, because I want to create that lifted and vertical line going up, so instead of following my natural brow hairline, I'm going to slightly lower that down to create an angle, just filling my brow as well where I need to. Nothing crazy here. And then once my front bit is kind of at the angle, then I'm just following the natural line of my brow going up. And instead of bringing my brow tail down like I did here, I'm just going to lift it at the end. So as you can see, my tail of the brow is kind of higher than the front of the brow, which by all rules, the tail of the brow should finish at the same line as the start of your brow. But I feel like this technique lifts your brow and brow bone towards the temple here. So I'm just gonna finish and fill up my brow like I would normally do on the top. And setting my brow again with the clear brow gel. This time I'm not following the natural shape, I'm brushing them upwards. So this is the difference using different filling of your brows. I don't know if you can see it in camera, but I do see a little difference, and all these vertical lines up definitely lift this side of my face more. So next step is applying eyeshadows. On this side, what we normally do is we are applying our color in our socket, circling from the outer part to the inner part, or from the outer towards the center, depending on what look you want to create. Again, this technique is totally fine. nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna repeat this step a few times to build up the color so you can see better. So this is just a typical application of eyeshadow, just blending it into your socket and diffusing the edges. Now on the other side, we can start kind of 3/4 of the way and then go inside, but then on the way back, kind of circle your eyeshadow towards the brow bone, towards the temple of your brow by lifting the eyeshadow up. Our aim is to create another line going up. So instead of going all the way down, I'm blending it a little bit into my temple. Obviously, be sure to drag that eyeshadow out pretty much when there's nothing left on the brush. So you don't want to end up with loads of product on this part of the eye. So literally the majority of product still goes 3/4 of the way into your socket. And then whatever is left is kind of like, you can extend it out towards the brow. So you can see the difference straight away. This eye is looking more awake, more open and lifted compared to the side where I just had my normal socket blending. Another trick I love to use for lifting my eyes is the eyeliner placement. So today I'm just going to use a brown, dark brown eyeshadow. So with your normal liner, you're doing a line just above your lash line. Once you have the full lash line lined with your products, then you would do your wing. Now wing shape depends on the shape of your eye. I would normally start your wing where your two eyelids meet and can extend it out towards the temple and then connect the wing to your lid. On the other eye, I'm going to line the inner part of my eye as close to my lash line as I can, and then I'm going to leave the center part of my eye as it is. I'm going to start lining my liner from the center of my eye pupil, and instead of following my natural eye shape down, I'm going to do a straight line this time. And now when I reach the crease, I would extend this line towards my temple again. But this time the line goes much higher than on the side. And then I would connect my liner to the lid, not from where the two lids meet, but much higher, literally where the end of my lashes are. And this gap I just fill in with color. So this eye kind of is the same like my brows. My front bit here is lower and then my tail of the wing is higher. And that creates another vertical line up, lifting your face up, lifting everything up. So if you are someone who loves wearing lashes, I'm going to show you different ways of applying lashes and how fake lashes again can lift your eye up or even drag it down sometimes. Obviously it depends on the style of lashes. On this side here, I'm applying a full lash, like a full strip lash like I would normally do. So on this eye I have a very dramatic full eyelash applied. Just again so you would see it better. So it's like a full lash from the inner part to the outer part of my eye. I know it's a crazy looking one, but just for demo purposes. So in contrast, on the other eye where I want to lift my face a little bit, I cut my lash and made it shorter and used the 3/4 of the way of the actual lash. And I'm going to apply it just on the outer part of my eye. And this time as well, instead of following your natural eye shape, applying your lash, just kind of stick it a little bit onto your lid so it kind of lifts the eye and goes together in the same direction as your wing liner. To finish up the bottom part, I'm just applying a little bit of the same crease color underneath. Also, for more lifted effect, it's great to highlight the inner part of your eye. It opens up the eye even more. So on your tear duct and towards your eyelid a little bit. So by doing so, you just want to keep the most of the darkness on the outer part of the eye and most of the light in the inner part of the eye. And now let's talk how to cheat your lip or bigger lip or plumpier lip without any fillers. This side I'm going to do as it is. Just follow my natural line of the lips. I don't have very full lips. It's quite narrow on the top. So on this side, I'm going to just follow my natural lip shape on the bottom part. And then on the top part of my lip, make it a bit more rounder, and I'm going to overdraw my lip shape a little bit. So I'm starting at the bottom and I'm imagining that I'm doing a rounder lip shape and I'm ignoring my own lip shape going down. So you can see how just overlining that few millimeters above the natural lip line, you can get this plumper, bigger looking lip. And I'm going to use my lipstick, just applying the lipstick as you would normally apply it. So here is pretty much all my tricks I wanted to show you for today in this how to lift your face with makeup video. I hope you can see the difference between the two sides. So all these little makeup application tricks can really change how your face look, how your features look. And if you want to visibly change your features just tiny bit, you can try these techniques and hopefully it will work for you as well as it works for me. So that's it for today's video. I hope it's been helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you did, you know what to do. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in my next video.